Ole Miss really fought hard and gave Auburn a nice little scare, but Auburn ended up winning the game. But it tells me this Ole Miss team is tournament ready.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
One of the things I wanted to see in this game, because Auburn's really a good basketball team, and Ole Miss is not going to see a team like Auburn in the NCAA tournament unless they advance really far. So what I wanted to see in this game was Ole Miss having the ability to grind out a result, to make it a little bit difficult. And that's exactly what they were able to do. Now, make no mistake, the reason Auburn won this game was Johni Broome. Ole Miss does not have anybody on the front court that can match up with Johni Broome. Bruce Pearl knows that. Chris Beard knows that. Johni Broome knows that. And he was the reason that Auburn was able to win this game at the end. I wanted Ole Miss to put a little pressure on the Auburn Tigers. Hello, I'm Steven Willis, and this is the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. We're talking about the Ole Miss exit from the SEC tournament to the Auburn Tigers, 62-57 in a game that makes me think more than ever this Ole Miss basketball team is ready for March Madness. And for Ole Miss to see a team the level of the Auburn Tigers, that means that Ole Miss advanced at least one weekend in the NCAA tournament. With the Rebels seemingly locked into a 6 seed, that means they will be matched with a 3 seed, which matchups absolutely going to go potentially well. You will avoid the 1 seed, and you will not have to play the 2 seed until the Sweet 16. It's a perfect storm for the Ole Miss Rebels. You start off, play a 6-11 game, go to a 3-2 game or something like that, and head to you play a 3-6 game, and then you play the 3-2 game for the right to play the 1 seed. That is the path forward, I think, for the Ole Miss Rebels. Listen, Auburn has a good team. They are way too good to be this unlikable. They are the most unlikable basketball team I've ever seen. Chad Baker-Mazara nearly threw away his team's NCAA chance trying to be a douchebag at the end of the game and dunk with no time left on the clock. 2 Auburn players literally tripped over each other. If that play shows up on social media, look at it. But they were literally trying to do some crazy celebration thing and had 2 players run into each other to where if they would have gotten hurt, Auburn's NCAA chances would have been gone, all in the name of some kind of a douchebag mood in the game that you didn't actually play that well to begin with. Ole Miss played this game almost perfectly. And if they would have shot a little bit better, if Sean Pedulla would have been a little bit better today, Ole Miss would have won this game. I think Bruce Pearl would have told you that if that happened, Ole Miss would have won this game. But Sean Pedulla did not shoot well. Sean Pedulla, other than a buzzer beater at the end of the Arkansas game, did not have a good SEC tournament for whatever reason. And you would rather him not have a good SEC tournament than not have a good NCAA tournament. But Sean Pedulla did not play particularly well, did not make a 3-point shot today. There was stretches in the game where Ole Miss's offense kind of went away, and a lot of that has to do with Sean Pedulla kind of going away. And Auburn couldn't put Ole Miss away. They grinded and they fought and they rebounded and they did all of this stuff that we've been wanting Ole Miss teams to do. This Ole Miss basketball team was able to put together and actually took the lead with about 6 minutes left to go in the second half. Of course, Auburn immediately went on a 10-0 run because Ole Miss disappeared and they sped up on layups and they kind of forgot what they were doing and got a little bit too excited. Ole Miss tried to fight back at the very end, but it just was no use. And Auburn ended up winning the game 62-57. Again, a really good basketball team. I don't want to take anything away from the Auburn Tigers, but Ole Miss played the game that I wanted to see Ole Miss play against the Auburn Tigers today. Grind it out. Pete Carrill, slow it down. Just a herky-jerky slog for when you play a team, and if you see the Auburn Tigers again, if you see the Florida Gators, if you get the Duke Blue Devils, if you get the Michigan State Spartans or Houston Cougars, you have the ability to slow the game down and make it your own. It's going to be pretty interesting to see exactly how that goes. Anyway, we are going to take time off tomorrow. Just kind of an off day, a little recharge day with everything coming up. And we're going to do a live and we're going to have a reaction show on Sunday to go with Brian Smith. Actually, we'll probably put Brian Smith on tomorrow, and then we'll do a reaction show late Sunday night, and we'll do a live show reacting to the Selection Sunday tournament bracket after you tune in to Bracket Breakdown on the Amazon Fire TV Channels app. So you can check out everything that Amazon has in store for you, as well as everything that I have in store for you. Should be pretty interesting indeed. But this game, honestly, is hilarious. This basketball game was the freest of the free shot in the history of free shots. And I talked on a crossover with Zach Blackerby, and you can go back and listen to that crossover. Go back and listen to that crossover, and this is exactly the game that I said I wanted to see and what I thought would happen. Auburn wins the game. It was a close game, and Ole Miss grinds out and plays slow down and all of that. A nice herky-jerky game, and Ole Miss took advantage of that. So kind of makes me feel good to know of my predictive abilities. Anyway, when we come back, we will do a little box score cleaning and get ready for Selection Sunday and talk about that. And in the third segment, we are going to take your comments. So remember, if you comment on this, be sure and put your hometown, because I do want to give you a shout out as well. Again, congratulations to the Auburn fans. You were a 10.5-point favorite, and Ole Miss scared the crap out of you today and proved they were tournament ready. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. You know, we're all about the stats here, and because numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are on an MVP level. With the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds, it can quite literally carry the whole team, plus the gear wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, the Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and even bigger memories. Whether you're exploring off-road trails or rolling up to the arena, the Armada Pro 4X brings the power, versatility, and style wherever you go. Take your adventures to new heights in the new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets. Win your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. I've got my eye on a few underdogs this year. Like the whole McNeese State situation has me very confused and what I'm going to do with them right now, and a couple of low seeds, kind of working how my bracket is going to work out when it's released. With the tournament games happening almost every day, there's something exciting to bet on. It's easy and fast. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college football action. All right, so let's do a little box score cleaning in this game before we get to your comments, because, I mean, you have your comments. This was, like I said, the freest of the free shots of all free shots, and that is Ole Miss and Auburn. You had a third shot. You get to find out exactly what you had, and props to Auburn for giving Ole Miss their absolute best and trying hard and all of that good stuff. But in the end, this game didn't really matter that much, and you're going to placate to everybody and say that it does matter because you want your culture to be that way. But everybody already is thinking about Thursday or Friday. We'll see exactly how it goes, and the Rebels are going to be really excited, I'm sure, with the draw. Everybody's kind of projecting a 6 seed at the moment. Now, if you look at the stats, it's really no surprise what happened. Ole Miss shot 37.7%. That was up from the first half. They shot about 25% They shot about 25% in the first half of the game, and they got it up to 37. It was crap. It just really was. 3-point shooting, they were 4 of 23. They did not shoot well from outside. They only had 10 turnovers, but when they had turnovers, it was during that stretch in the first half when they weren't shooting well. And it just felt like they went from having a 5-point lead to Auburn having a 6-7-point lead. And it was kind of an insurmountable thing. When Ole Miss took care of the basketball, they were okay. Ole Miss had 28 rebounds on the day. They got out-rebounded by 10, but in stretches of this game, they got mauled a little bit, and they had real trouble rebounding the ball. They had 17 fouls. Auburn had 62 points on the day, had 6 of 21 shooting. They were 45% from 2-point range, 15 turnovers. Ole Miss's defense was really good. They're going to be in any NCAA tournament game because of their defense. And when you look at what they have scoring the ball, they should be fine. Auburn had 38 rebounds. We talked about that, 17 fouls. Ole Miss was led by Sean Pedulla, didn't necessarily play well in this game. He was 6 of 13 from 2, 0 for 5 from 3, had 1 rebound, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls in the game, had 12 points overall. Malik Dia had 10 points, 1 of 3 from 3-point range, 3 of 11 from 2-point range, 3 steals, 7 rebounds. He battled hard. This was probably his best game against Auburn this season. Dre Davis made it through a full game, had 12 points, 6 rebounds, made it not as much of a mauling as it could have been in the rebounding category. And when you just look at everything, almost had 10 steals in the game, 10 turnovers. It was interesting. It was really interesting. And the stats tell the tale a little bit in this game. Ole Miss didn't shoot the ball well, and they were sloppy in the first half, and they ended up losing the game probably because of that. Basketball is not a hard sport when it comes to that. When team sports happen, it's not a hard sport. Auburn had a quick run at the very end of the game. When Ole Miss took the lead, Auburn kind of spurted out. It's because Ole Miss sped up. In team sports, the whole goal is to speed your opponent up faster than they're comfortable being sped up to, so they're not as sharp as they could be. It's not hard. Whether football, basketball, baseball, soccer, it doesn't matter. If you can do that, you're going to have the advantage. And Ole Miss was the team that sped up with 5 minutes to go in the game during that run. You saw missed layups. You saw rush stuff from Sean Pedulla and Juju Murray. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to take your questions. Remember, if you leave a question, please put where you're commenting from. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament, which is actually what's on everybody's mind right now, and we'll see exactly how that goes. Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all my money go? And between dining out and online shopping and entertainment, it's kind of easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. And you can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you can just stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I'm smarter and save a whole lot more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever as well. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com at LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. All right, let's take some of your comments, spend a little bit of time. Again, since we're doing this back-to-back days, pretty much, it might not be a full 30-minute show, and we'll just kind of go as long as the comments are out there. But we're planning on doing a tournament reaction live stream. So come join us for the tournament reaction live stream. And then we're going to have Tim Thomas on to kind of talk about everything, the seating, the whole 9 yards later on Sunday night. And have his ability to talk about that stuff going on. So that's what we're planning on for Sunday. Saturday is just going to be Brian Smith, and Monday is going to be a 20-minute interview with Austin Simmons. That's very good. He does not disappoint. Austin Simmons, whenever you talk to him, all you can think of is 1-1. This is a guy that has a chance to be the best quarterback at Ole Miss in significant time. And that's saying something with Jackson Dart and Matt Corral and Eli Manning and those guys that have taken snap. Austin Simmons just comes across as a very, very special player. All right, so let's talk about the comments real quick. And we're probably going to talk more NCAA tournament at this point than we are the Auburn game. Auburn is a really good team. They are. We've played them. Ole Miss has played them 3 times and lost 3 times. You knew exactly what it was going to be with Auburn. Auburn was a 10.5-point favorite. Ole Miss needed to take this game to find something within themselves. And I think they did. I think you saw Ole Miss being willing to grind out a game. And it didn't work because Auburn had Johni Broome. But here's the secret. Most teams don't have Johni Broome, which means in a case in the NCAA tournament, when you need to grind out a game, you're going to be able to pull that card. And I saw a whole lot of effort for this Ole Miss team, and I'm excited for Jamin Brakefield and Matthew Morrell getting to play in the NCAA tournament. All right, so K.R. Millam says, great effort, going to be a great seed. I'm thinking 6. Ole Miss seems to be pretty locked in as a number 6 seed right now. That's good. Ole Miss ends up in a 6-3 game in the second round potentially, and a 2 seed in the regional finals. So I'm pretty excited about where Ole Miss sits at the moment and where seeding could be. He's from New Albany, Mississippi. It says, did Ole Miss choke that game? No, they absolutely did not. Auburn won that game. Johni Broome won that game. We may not like the antics and the way they act, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they won that game. There was a stretch by Broome where he completely took it over in the last 5 minutes of that game, and that's the reason Ole Miss lost that game. I mean, if you take away the bad shooting and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was not a choke job. Adam Alva says, I mean, it was a great effort. Have to make open shots to break through against a team like that. This is the best game we played against them by far. Yes. I wanted to see Ole Miss grind away. Ole Miss does have to shoot better. Sean Pedulla did not have a good tournament. And Ole Miss needs Sean Pedulla against whoever they take on in the NCAA tournament. If he gets right and gets back to normal, Ole Miss is going to be a very hard team to beat if you see the level of defense they played in this tournament basketball. Randy Wilbanks says, Ole Miss has definitely got to get a big man or two in the paint. Broome has killed them all year. Good game, guys. Hotty toddy. Yes, Ole Miss doesn't have a front court. They have essentially a 5-out offense at this point. Defensively, they do not have the size to match up with somebody like Johni Broome. And most of the time, it's Cardwell that gives them the most trouble. Ole Miss is the best thing that happened to Ole Miss was getting him and Chad Baker-Mazar in foul trouble. Whenever that happened, that's when Ole Miss was able to kind of chip away and start working on the game. Wish us luck. New Albany will get severe weather tonight. Yes, be careful. I did see this. I follow some weather people on Twitter, and they talk about in eastern Mississippi all the way up to like Tupelo and New Albany. In that area, there's a bubble that's a 5 out of 5 on the extreme weather scale. So please, everybody, be careful. Stay off the roads if you don't need to. Hunker down and just kind of get through this night. Should be pretty interesting indeed. Oh, that was a heck of a bunt. All right. Javon Campbell from New Orleans. Ole Miss must avoid Johni Broome at all costs. Tanya Harding, that dude. Yes, absolutely. I think Ole Miss needs to put the Florida bigs in that same category. Ole Miss needs to avoid Florida and Auburn as long as possible. That's the reason I have talked about a 6-7 seed basically from the beginning to avoid 1 seed. Ole Miss matches up very well with basically all the 2-line and all the 3-line. Ole Miss does not match up very well against a 1-line, whether it be Florida or Auburn. And we've seen that. Auburn's got 3 wins against Ole Miss. Florida has 1. That is almost half of the losses Ole Miss has taken. Ole Miss has beaten Alabama. Ole Miss has beaten Tennessee. Ole Miss has beaten Louisville. Ole Miss has beaten just about everybody other than that 1 seed line. So Ole Miss needs to avoid them, in my opinion, as much as possible. Javon Campbell. We need side and a Terrence Davis type player. TD was the man. Yes. Ole Miss does not have a Batman on this team. It was supposed to be Matt Morrell. I understand that. I see that in the construction. With his athletic ability, it was supposed to be him. Whenever he got injured and they started kind of putting things together with duct tape and rubber bands and stuff like that, they had to learn how to grind. And this Ole Miss basketball team grinds out results right now. That's their whole secret. They can beat just about anybody depending on the makeup of that team. So we'll see exactly how it goes in March Madness and the matchups that Ole Miss get. But I'm thinking a 6 seed, and I'm thinking that Ole Miss has a chance to do pretty well. And potentially, this is a team that can be bounced in the first round and it can go to the second weekend. It's not a team that's going to win the national championship. That's the reason I talked about how it was important to avoid number 1 seeds as long as possible. If you want to just have fun for long periods of time with this Ole Miss basketball team, which you can, this is a team that has the ability to go to the second weekend. That's what needs to happen. Jared Parker says, I'm a firm believer that we can beat anybody. Yes, Ole Miss can beat anybody. Ole Miss could have beat Auburn today if they shot the ball well. If they shot the ball well, they could have beaten Auburn today. They didn't shoot the ball well at all. I mean, poor Sean Pedulla made 1 3 in his SEC tournament, 13 misses. He was like bad Marshall Henderson in the SEC tournament. But get that fixed before the NCAA tournament, you'll be all right. It could be just a simple thing where the basketballs didn't feel right in the SEC tournament, or the visions, the optics in the gym was not good in the SEC tournament. Something like that. And it's interesting. Randy Wilbank says, Ole Miss definitely needs to recruit some big guys because Broom kills us in the paint every single time. Good game, guys. Hotty toddy. He's watching from Walnut, Mississippi. Thank you, Randy, very much. Mark Walsh from St. Louis. Stephen is correct. Auburn is a bad matchup for us, but we played strong. I wish offensively we were better. Jalen Murray really needs to hit those wide open threes. He's going to be all right. He doesn't seem clutch offensively to me. Yeah, I kind of get that as well. It was just a night where it just didn't work out for him. It just happened that way. Carol Millam did say that it's completely sunny right now, so the bad weather has not rolled through, and the baseball game got moved up right now. And Ole Miss is currently up 5-2 on Arkansas in baseball, if you're interested in such things. It's a good baseball team. Hayden Federico went yard again, by the way. Ole Miss is up 5-2 in the 3rd inning for anybody interested about that. All right, so we're going to stop this live stream here pretty quick and kind of relax everything. Here's our schedule moving forward, okay? We have Brian Smith tomorrow morning, and that'll be the show for Saturday. I'm going to take Saturday off, completely recharged. On Sunday, I'm going to be back in it. We're going to finish doing the Austin Simmons episode, which, like I said, I have 20 minutes with Austin Simmons. Fantastic interview. It's probably the best one you will hear from him this season. It was great. It was terrific. And we are going to do a Selection Sunday live show to talk about the game and everything, the bracket that Ole Miss gets set up in. We can come on here and talk brackets. I know how much everybody likes to do that. And we're going to get Tim Thomas to react to everything going on with the NCAA tournament, who Ole Miss plays, and kind of talk about that as well. Should be pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited. And also, if you have an Amazon Fire TV stick, tune in to the Amazon Fire TV channels app for the Selection Sunday show, and they're going to have a ton of bracket breakdown shows. Yours truly will be a part of that, talking basketball, and that should be a whole lot of fun for everybody involved. I do hope everybody has a good Saturday, a safe Saturday, and may the tornadoes miss all of you as springtime hits in Mississippi and beyond. We'll see exactly how it goes. Anyway, we'll talk to you Sunday. Hotty toddy, everyone.